Welcome to another Physed and Minor Games video. The game we're going to be looking at today is called Football Baseball or Footy Baseball. Now the equipment you're going to need for Footy Baseball is ideally one football field and goalposts, 4 cones and 2 footballs. Now the way the game works is you'll set up a field like a baseball diamond, starting where home base is at the tip of the goal square, and you'll have the fielding team will spread out amongst the field and the batting team will stand over towards one of the point posts. Now, the first 2 players in the batting team will head up towards home base, and the rest of the batting team, instead of just standing there waiting for their turn, they will actually spread out amongst the field, and we'll explain why they do that shortly. Now, of the 2 batters that are about to have their go, one will be the kicker and the other will be the runner. Now, the kicker has 2 options. He can either kick the ball out into the field of play, so that when it hits the ground, the runner can then start running continuously around the bases from first to second to third to home to first to second and so on, and he'll keep doing that until the teacher yells out for him to stop, and we'll explain when that occurs. The other option, and probably the better of the 2 options, and this is where the other players in the batting side actually come into play. If the kicker can actually kick the ball so that one of his teammates out in the field can take a mark, that player can then play on and kick the ball further down into the field. Now, he's only allowed to take a couple of steps before he does that. Now, when the ball hits the deck again, the runner is then allowed to start running around the bases, trying to see how many bases he can round. Now, the fielding team, for them to stop the runner from running, what they have to do is they run over, retrieve the ball, and they then need to get the ball back to first base, where the player on first base has to mark it. He or she will then kick it to second base will kick it to third, and then the person on third base has to see if he or she can kick a goal through the goalposts. If he or she is successful in doing so, the teacher yells out stop, or even if he kicks at point, the teacher yells out stop, and that's when the runner stops running. Now, with the scoring system, we'll just say here, for example, that the runner was able to do 2 full laps. That means he rounded 8 bases, he scores 8, but we'll say that the person on third base was successful in kicking a goal. So what the teacher does, because it was a successful kick, the teacher takes either 1 or 2 points off. So we'll say here he takes off 1 point, so therefore that batting pair's score is 7 for that innings. So you can then do 2 things. You can reverse the role so that the kicker and the runner swap, or you can have them head out into the field and wait for their turn later on in the second innings. Now, a couple of reminders. It can turn into a fairly slow game, so one thing you can do is actually give bonus points for the team that gets through their innings fastest. So the way they do that is just by communicating and working together to make sure that the next batting pair are ready to go, and they work through quickly that way. The other thing you need to do, make sure you have fresh faces on bases, so you don't have the same 3 or 4 students always on the bases, because they're the ones that be involved in the play and the quieter kids get left out. And you also need to make sure you rotate the goal kicker. So in the fielding team, that person on third base who has a shot at goal, they're only allowed to have 1 shot, and then you need to make sure that you've always got a fresh kicker on that base so that you don't have someone doubling up. And that's how you play footy baseball. For more minor games and resources, head to physed.com.au or subscribe to the Physed YouTube. Thank you.